What will the recent political turmoil in Ukraine end like, and what may be its consequences for Poland? To talk about it and more, we're joined by Krzysztof Bielecki, Poland's former Prime Minister. Good evening.
Very good evening to you.
So, Oleksandr Syrski, Ukraine's commander-in-chief, has given an interview in which he apologizes to the ousted defense minister Fyodorov and denies any conflict between the two gentlemen. Now, do you think that Ukrainians will buy this narrative?
Oh, well, it's up to Ukrainian to resolve this situation. However, I think more broader problem for Ukrainians is to recognize that the situation in Europe is changing, and the moral support, almost unlimited, is vanishing. And recently we observed at the EU summit that, of course, in moral terms, everybody is for the next wave of sanctions, but at the same time, so many countries ask for being carved out from the package, because for one, it's because of the compensation for its bank, which is still based in Russia. For the others is to provide more job for the shipping company. For the others is caring for the fishermen. So there is plenty of excuses, but nevertheless, we observe that so many carve-outs are asked by particular member states. So for the Ukraine, which is so much involved in some internal tensions and also not very nice, difficult tension and painful for us regarding the past and the Ukraine army during the Second World War.
Ukraine's insurgent army.
Insurgent army, yes, indeed. So I think it's a moment where the leadership should be really focused and ready for the changing environment, and maybe even, we can say, more difficult for them.
But, Mr. Prime Minister, are you suggesting that the European support for Ukraine is waning as such? That's the first question here. And the second, are you advocating for a more transactional approach to Ukraine?
Yes. And so we reached the peak, I think. And when you reach the summit of the mountain, then unfortunately it could be possible that you will be going sooner or later down. And the situation which was described by the international media a few days ago, giving a lot of examples, particular countries were asking for the carve-outs for them, even though in moral terms, still everybody is for the next round of sanctions, for almost unlimited support. But I think that the situation is changing. And I'm also very concerned that the leadership of Ukraine did not notice that the staunch supporter of Ukraine, which is Poland, is also concerned by historical policy so much pushed forward by the Ukrainian president, which increased unnecessary tension, and we have to sort it out.
Now, some Polish officials, and I mean like the Speaker of the Parliament, claim that Ukraine didn't want Poland to participate in this newest anti-ballistic initiative. Now, what do you make of that?
I think that it is a slip of the tongue because I also following the arguments we discussed just a minute before, I think it's impossible to win the situation without a good relationship with the neighbor. The neighbor is also an important hub, an important partner, and also, I hope, important voice among the European member states. So you have to get the neighbor on your side. And if you don't mind, I will go back now for 50 seconds to my personal experience regarding our negotiations and eventually a treaty between Poland and Germany in 1991, so 25 years ago, when exactly my predecessor was convinced that the road of Poland to Europe is led through France, where myself and also some other Polish, fortunately, politicians, particularly after the change of the government, was very much convinced that the good relationship with the neighbor is critical for Poland. And I think that Germany provided us a lot of assistance regarding the Polish accession to Germany, as well as the Germany were crucial regarding the withdrawal of the Soviet troops from East Germany and Poland. So that was my very personal experience when I was young and intelligent. I was 39 years old at the time. And I think it's good to remember it's a universal truth that the neighbor is a neighbor. You may don't like it, but it's better to get on with him.
Absolutely, and Ukraine is definitely not EU's enemy. But what can we say about China after it has been labeled, let me quote, critical long-term strategic challenge for the EU?
Yes, that's good sentence. But also, I think for China, Europe is a must because China's.
But is China a must for Europe as well? Are we that dependent on China
but,
that we cannot sever this ties?
Let me explain them. The must in certain way, because the Chinese economy and the Chinese model of development is unsustainable. However, the Chinese don't want to change it, and the model which is based on manufacturing, and they want to be a factory of the whole world, and they increase the participation in general manufacturing up to 30%, and now they want to manufacture, and because they cannot consume it at home, they are very happy to sell to everybody, but in particular to Europe, as much as they can. And they hope that they will manufacture, and the Europeans, lazy and not ready for competition, they could consume because they have so much money still.
So lastly, Mr. Prime Minister, because Germany and France, they want to create a certain roadmap to address this issue with China. What should Poland do?
Well, Poland should stick to European policy, because the tariffs are one of the measures which is decided by the European Commission, not by the particular member country. So I think we should, first of all, push EU Commission to act more quickly and smoothly, because even today, I think on your broadcast, you raised the issue of additional fees imposed on e-commerce platforms
From
sending from China almost everything, which took European Commission quite a long time, where in the United States it was resolved by one executive order by President Donald Trump. So I think we should operate much faster.
Jan Krzysztof Bielecki, Poland's former Prime Minister, was our guest this evening. Mr. Prime Minister, it was a pleasure as always. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and stay with us for more interviews and news here on TVP World.